Breathe through your nose. Feel the aroma. Slight orangey taste in the coffee. It's like having an orange peel. Okay, so this is a bit of a character in the coffee. If you start to continue to pour the coffee through about 30 seconds, you find the acidity will go off. Okay, maybe that would be better for a cappuccino. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to do a latte and a cappuccino. Again, let's remove the cup away. Again, when we pick it up, nice puck, firm. Beautiful. Looks like a cookie.
What's the difference between these coffee machines against processed coffee machines like Nestle, Nespresso machines?
Okay. Well, they already pre-ground the coffee, so they run the risk of having coffee that's already been turning stale in the ground form. They may use technology to try to minimize oxidation in the coffee because they will either vacuum pack it or they maybe have some nitrogen gas inside just to make sure that it minimizes oxidation or slow the process. But coffee is like that. The moment you grind to ground form, it loses aroma very quickly. It goes into the air very, very quickly. Beans can last you, let's say, if it's in a European weather, low humidity, cold weather, low temperature, in the teens of degrees Celsius, it could last you for at least up to 10 days. But in our weather, warm, sunny, humid, lots of ultraviolet light rays here, you find the coffee probably lasts you maximum, if you store it properly, 5 days. When you grind coffee beans into ground form, you're increasing its surface area by 1,000 times. So what happens is that the freshness for coffee in ground form will be lost in half an hour or to an hour, maximum 2.
But how about the myth of people keeping coffee in the fridge or freezer? Don't they say that it lasts the coffee about up to a year?
There's no such thing. It doesn't.
It doesn't have freshness. No.
Coffee beans, once you expose the air, after you open from a bag, they, of course, normally they will say the bag is flush with nitrogen because it minimizes. By the time you open it, the nitrogen escapes, contacts with oxygen, it starts to deteriorate. Okay? In our weather, humid, oils will start to form on the surface, and what you call sweating happens in the coffee. You find that once the oil appears on the surface, it's in direct contact with air, it will go into oxidation and you turn rancid very quickly. Putting coffee in a chiller is possible. However, you must put coffee in an airtight container first before you stick it into the chiller. Because otherwise, if you just stick in this bag and put it in and it's not airtight, it will absorb smells from the fridge. There will be moisture in the fridge that will be absorbed. So coffee is afraid of 4 things: heat, light, moisture, and air. So there's heat, you put in the fridge, it's gone. Light, you close the fridge, it's gone. But air, the air inside there is circulating. Therefore you need an airtight container. So you can keep an airtight container, keep the air out. You keep whatever is inside to itself. And it doesn't absorb anything from the fridge. And moisture. Some of today's fridge will tell you technology, they've got moisture inside, keeping your food fresh and all that. That moisture is not good for your coffee beans. So that's why airtight container is still key before you stick it in. But never put in the fridge, into the freezer. You don't want to freeze your coffee. Yeah. Why? So humid here. The moment from such a low temperature coming out here, you have condensation happening in your coffee, and you don't want that. Yeah.
So you don't encourage anyone to keep their coffee beans in the freezer.
Preferably, the most ideal way is a cool, dry, dark place. If you give me this place that gives me this, that meets these 4 parameters, it's fine. Cool, maybe. You know what's the best? The best is in a wine chiller. Yes, wine chiller is one of the best instruments. Put it inside there, it's perfect. Very, very low humidity, nice and cool temperature for your wines. It's also great for your coffee. Yes. So let me make a second coffee. Right, so let's get going. I'll make another cappuccino. Getting cup must be hot so that it doesn't cause the coffee to actually lose its heat very quickly. Mix it up. To lock it in, it's important to extract straight away because you'll burn the top side of the coffee. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to pull to 30 seconds and then we'll get a nice espresso shot and we'll get some milk going. Beautiful. Okay, so let's get some milk. I'm going to make 2 cups of coffee. So I'll play with 2 pitchers. Always tell people have to have the right size pitcher for your milk frothing. If you're just going to do a cup, use a cup, use a pitcher of this size. This is about 350 cc for a pitcher. Make sure it's clean. If you're going to do 2 cups of coffee, then you start to move up and you start to use a 600 cc pitcher. Okay, so each time it's about 300 cc for a cup of coffee. So I'm going to do 2 cups.
Now I noticed that they use the picture to also to design the cappuccinos.
Well, there is a story behind that as well. There's an origination story. But anyway, to design, to get the milk right, you first of all also froth it correctly. You need to have a correct shape. Normally, a pitcher needs to be small opening at the top, wider base. It allows the milk to froth and whirlpool in the bottom, and it facilitates by physics the pouring later on. Okay. So, as I'm using this, you always pour about halfway, 50%, and you allow the milk to rise up to close to twice its volume. Okay. First, the steam arm. Wipe it clean before you insert into your milk. Listen to the sound. It goes and the milk is whirlpooling inside there beautifully. Okay, the temperature of the milk is critical. Heat up about 60 to 65 degrees centigrade and it should stop heating up because otherwise the milk will burn. Beautiful. Nice and smooth. It has doubled in volume from where it was, now it's double up. Just going to split the milk up, give a bit of froth to the top, to this side. Okay. So I use this. Okay, now let's do a nice little cappuccino. Okay, now just going to tell you that we'll just draw a nice rosetta. Okay, so just do a nice one. You pour. Okay, it's on camera, so steady. Could be better. Do the next one, better one. So I'm going to pour back the froth into this cup. Mix it up. Move it around nicely before we pour the next one. Okay. So that's roughly the action of what you do for rosetta. You just need to move left and right center and then you pull forward. You have variations of that. People start to pull heart shapes. People start to do tulips, and I believe you saw that during the recent SNBC. It takes a lot of practice. What I want to do is get people something nice to look at. People know that you're putting some effort to get a coffee right. You can draw a nicer pattern. Your milk is done right. You can pour a latte art. The barista has been practicing well enough. It must be a very busy cafe. That's why you can get people to practice so much. And then finally, you get a nice tasting cup. And then you see the amount of milk that is lost. Minimal wastage. Critical because this is something that also technical judges look for in terms of coffee usage. If they say it starts to waste a lot of milk, it's not a good barista because it doesn't know how to control. So you have to minimize. Just nice, not too much. Now I'd like you to just taste this coffee.